When you activate and do this work on and in yourself to raise up your root, Kundalini serpent fire power up through your body to your crown, to be crowned, so that you're sitting on the throne of your power, of your purpose, and of your pussy. Baby, you know why you stopped going to church? Do you want me to tell you why you stopped going to church? When you activate, you stop going to church. And the reason you stop going to church is because if you were to enter a church, baby, you would burst into flames. Yeah. You have become so activated in your divine dark energy that if you enter a church, you will burst into flames. But let me tell you why. Welcome to Alcheminity, because turning pain into power is sexy. I'm your host and creator of this colony and the many colonies we're building around our motherfucking globes. Hell, around our galaxies at this point. I am your queen bee, Miss Burgess, if you're nasty. Also known as Nova, aka the Gypsy Empress. 333 on the clock right now, y'all. Let's get into this. Listen. I love this topic so much. Spirit is so clever with its downloads and its uploads. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, all of this wisdom opens up to you. I really wish my camera whole lens thing was here instead of here, because I'm trying to look here so that you all can feel that I'm looking at you, but I need to look here as well because this is where I am, and I like to see myself as well. So anyway, y'all, listen, let's get into this message. Shouts out to those of you who are subscribed here to for the first time. Damn, why am my tongue twisted? For the first time, welcome to the colony. This is your home. Make no mistake about it. For those of you who have been here for some time, thank you for choosing Alcheminity as your home. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we found each other again in this lifetime, y'all. It's been one hell of a ride, has it not? It has been one hell of a ride. I heard this quote one time. We're going to get into the message in just a minute, but I heard this quote one time, and I love it so much. It says, life isn't about arriving to your grave intact and unbruised and unscathed in one piece. Life is about sliding into your grave sideways, saying, woo, what a hell of a ride. And what a hell of a ride it has been, literally, for those of us who are the activated alchemists and chosen ones. But I'm glad we found each other again. Listen, y'all, let's get into this message. Now it's 333 on my phone. I don't know, y'all can, it just changed. Anyway, let's get into the message. Listen, when you activate and do this work on and in yourself, many of you, like me, you stopped going to church once you started doing this work on your root chakra to heal and raise up your purpose and your mission and your power, to remember, i.e. put back together again why you've come to this planet. Speaking of remembering, putting back together again all pieces of yourself so that you can remember what your purpose and your power is, make sure you get your copy of Activate, Unorthodox Philosophies that Explore Anxiety, Depression, and Suicidal Thoughts as Symptoms of Suppressed Superpower. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. All right. I don't even like to say a book that I wrote. I like to say a book that was written through me. Get your copy. Start there. This information, if I don't say it's new to you, but if you are coming into Alcheminity for the first time, start with the book. It's a good place to start. Okay. Once you do this work on and in yourself, okay, you are healing from your root chakra. You are doing the work from the root, right? We can't grow anything unless we begin at the root, at the core, right at the core. You got it right at the core. You got to start at the root, right? You're trying to grow a tree. You got some plants in your house. Maybe some of you have farms, okay? Maybe some of you are gardeners. Maybe some of you are called to have a farm. I know that I am, all right? Where do we begin to grow our harvest or our crops? We begin at the root. Same thing with your body. If you are going to activate in your power and your purpose through your pussy, you got to start at the root, all right? Once you do this work on a root level, I'm hearing doing roots. When you activate, you do roots. Spirit, you are so So clever. Ooh, it's so yummy and delicious. I love it. That's going to be the next video. Once you activate, you become a root worker. Hello. But when you do this work on it in yourself to raise up your kundalini serpent fire power energy up to your body, you are raising up your serpent. You're raising up your dragons. You are raising up your monsters. I'm friends with the monsters under my bed. Right? You're raising up your demons. You are becoming one with your demons. You're not just light and love anymore. You are now divine darkness. You are now your shadow self. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot have heaven without hell. You cannot have your angels without your demons. You can't have your beauties without your beast. You understand? Let me slow down because I'm getting tongue twisted. And when the information is channeling, this is how we get sometimes. Those of you that know, you know. Let's continue. You stop going to church. So many of us have talked about this before. Again, if you got your copy of Activate, then this is really broken down in the book as well. But you stop going for more reasons than most people think. Like a lot of people, once we're on the initiation part of our journey, they think, oh, she stopped going to church or he stopped going to church. They over there doing roots and spells and shit. They identify as being a witch and a spiritualist. They devil worshipers over there. And guess what we tell them? We tell them they're absolutely right. Yes, we are. But for more reasons than you have been taught. And if you'd like to know more, stick around and learn yourself something. Okay? Listen, if you need an explanation about this stuff, then it really isn't for you. You're not called to be on this journey, right? If you need an explanation, this is not for you. This is not explanation. Alcheminity is not about explaining. This is about confirmation, right? Because if you're on this journey and this wisdom is activating and raising up in you, you really already know. You just need confirmation that you are not completely insane, okay? You need to know that you're not completely insane. Insanity is a part of the odyssey. You have to lose your damn mind, which means you're getting rid of all of the old ideas, all of the old beliefs, all the old traditions you used to live by, right? Many of us grew up religious. Our parents grew up religious. Our parents grew up religious, right? We were taught false doctrine. This has kept us stuck, stagnant, broken. This to be taught to be sheep, right? Like when you're in church, we were taught that we were a part of somebody's flock and we were sheep being led to the damn slaughter. For those of you that know, you know damn well we cannot be on this earth, on this planet, in our power, in our purpose, being sheep. That's the surest way to get your ass ate up out here. Hello? And if you really want to know the truth about God, God doesn't want anybody that's a sheep, that's a pure sheep. You can't get into heaven being a pure sheep. You know what God would say? God would say, that's not what I sent you here to do. I didn't send you here to be slaughtered. I didn't send you here to be meek and docile. No, the meek will not inherit the earth. You have got to be both light and dark. This is why God created it both in us. This is why God created both angel and demon. It is blasphemous to recognize your angels without your demons. It's a sin against God to vilify and suppress your demon side. Did you not know this? God created it all. How dare we bless one and curse the other? This is what has kept us stuck, stagnant, and out of alignment with our power and our purpose. This is what kept power stuck in our root chakras. And so once you go on this odyssey of the dark night of the soul, once you do this work to activate, you are doing it on a root level. You are setting yourself free. You are setting your power free on a root level. And when you do this, you wake up to the truth that church is not for you. Why? Because church has taught us to be weak and meek and overly humble. Church taught us to survive, not thrive. Right? When you do this work on and in yourself, you wake up to the truth that church is not for you. And if you were to enter a church, getting back into the meat of this thing, Spirit is saying, you know too much now. And when I say too much, I just mean you know what you should know, so much so that you can't go back to bullshit, that you can't go back to sleep. So you can't go back to church because the traditional idea of church would be putting you back to sleep. You cannot go back to that. There's no way you can go back. And so when I say once you activate and do this work on and in yourself, and if you were to enter a church, you will literally catch on fire. This means your phoenix fire. Once you activate and do this work on and in yourself, you can no longer enter the church because your phoenix fire is what you will implode into. Now, how are phoenixes? What do phoenixes do? Phoenixes, dragons don't flock together. When I say dragons don't flock together, when you think about any movie that you've seen where dragons were involved, right? I take that back. I don't say dragons don't flock together. Dragons don't hang amongst sheep. Right? You're not seeing dragons hanging amongst sheep, not sheep, sheep, plural, sheep, right? The sheep would be your lunch. The sheep would be your dinner. The sheep would be your snack. Hello? You are a sovereign being when you activate into your phoenix energy. If you were to enter a church, you will burst into flames, your phoenix flames, your sovereign energy. Something has to burn. And so what burns around you is the idea that church is a building instead of your body, is the idea of being amongst the flock. Phoenixes aren't amongst flocks, okay? We're known to walk alone, but we're alone for a reason. Unless we're amongst our like-minded tribes and colony members and hello, right? When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, the reason you will burst into flames if you enter the church is because you are choosing to burst into the fire that sets you free, that has set you free. Are you hearing me? That's a scary thing for people to see, to witness. For your family and friends around you who don't understand the journey that you've been on as an activated alchemist and chosen one, you are scaring the shit out of them because they see the flames behind your eyes. They see the fire in your eyes. They see the fire in your eye. They see the fire in your eyes. And it's intimidating. It scares them. They've never seen a phoenix before. Can you imagine walking up on a dragon? Can you imagine actually seeing a dragon? Eyes blaring, blazing with passion and fire and purpose. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, they can feel your heat. They know that you can burn their asses up. That intimidates them. And when I say burn them up, meaning they know that your way of being and believing and living and existing and thinking and doing, okay, is so far-fetched from who they remember you being, from who they're used to you being. Who you are now is scary to them. Much like a dragon would scare the shit out of most people if you stumbled upon one. Because you're not the usual. You don't walk around every day seeing a dragon. Hello? And when you do, what's the first thing you want? You better lay low. You better back away slowly with your head down. Back the fuck away. For some reason, and obviously this, I'm going to say for some reason, it's obvious why I'm getting a download of the Game of Thrones right now. For those of you who have probably ever seen that series, very powerful series, okay? But you are the dragon, and you're also the queen of dragons, right? Because I say, yes, heavy is the head that wears the crown, but you've done this work to raise your serpent kundalini, also your dragon fire energy up through your body to your crown. So you're wearing the crown of fire, of purpose, of power, of your pussy, of passion. So not only are you the dragon because you've awakened it in yourself, but you are ruler of yourself, which makes you ruler of the dragon, which makes you the queen of dragons. You are the queen, the ruler of your dragon, of your serpent, of your Kundalini serpent fire power. People can see that. They can feel that. They can sense that. And the first group of people that see it and feel it and sense it are the people in your inner circle, are the people in your family, are your friends. Those closest to you, they feel that fire first. And hopefully they don't have to feel the wrath of it. Many have. And the wrath that people feel from your phoenix fire is you cutting them off, is you burning them out of your life. When you become the phoenix, the dragon, you build what's the word? Everything in your life, people, places, and things that do not align with who you are being called to activate into. You take all of those people, places, and things, and you pile them up. You make a big pile of them. You put it all together, and you set that bitch on fire so that you can never go back. There is no going back because you've set it all ablaze. I'm hearing, we're going to set that house on fire, talking about, hey now, hey now, hey now. Ba-da-bum-ba-dum-bum. Woo. My grandma told your grandma, we're going to set your house on fire. Ooh. Speaking of grandmothers, those of you who have grandmothers as your spiritual guides, I know I do. My grandmother is my spiritual guide. My grandmother on my father's side. I'm hearing, my grandma told your grandma, we're going to set your house on fire. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself and activate into your phoenix fire energy, and if you were to enter into a church, you will set that bitch on fire. I didn't say it. My grandmother said it. I didn't say it. Your grandmother said it. Your spiritual guide said it. If you walk in there, you are going to set that house on fire. I'm remembering a scripture, and I'm not a religious person, but again, we take what resonates and we leave the rest, right? Just want to make sure this is still recording. But there was a vision where Jesus, the allegorical story of Jesus, and he walked into a temple and he saw the people were trying to make money and gamble and all that kind of stuff. And he pushed over all the tables. That's going to be you. That is you right now. That is what you've already done in so many ways. Since you've done this work on and in yourself, you have set records straight with your phoenix fire. The reason why you would, if you entered into a church and would implode into fire, would burst into flames, because you're burning away all that false shit, all the false doctrine, all the false masks. You are the mirror to the work of you are a mirror to the people who refuse to do this work on and in themselves. You become the fire that sets shit ablaze. The inauthentic shit, the fake ones. You are the one that calls out the moles in the camp. You are the one. There is such a thing, Spirit wants me to reiterate this, there is such a thing as righteous anger. When your phoenix rises up, there is a level of anger that rises with you. Not anger from bitterness, not anger from being messy, not anger wanting to be argumentative or debate. You're not here for all of that. Your righteous anger through your phoenix fire is divine. It's the same type of righteous anger the allegorical story Jesus had when he pushed over the tables. Him pushing over the tables was calling out the bullshit and the bullshitters, the fake ones, the inauthentic ones, the ones wearing the masks of righteousness and holiness. Let me tell you something about righteousness and holiness. Righteousness and holiness isn't all kumbaya, sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. Righteousness and holiness means being able to also tap into your dark side and calling the bullshit out. That is what God wants of you. That's when you're truly in your God and goddess energy, when you are able to be both beauty and beast, both angel and demon. You are not fully activated in your God and goddess energy unless you can do both. You are not doing the will of God unless you can activate your demons. Hello, are you hearing me? Let me pause for a minute because that was a lot. I'm aroused by this message. I am so aroused by this message right now. The red is so significant. Spirit said, wear the red today. I said, okay. Representing the fire. Okay. My grandma told your grandma, we gonna set this house on fire. My grandmother, I'm gonna share this story with y'all. This is something that my mother told me. My grandmother, who is my spiritual guide, is my father's mother. But my mother told me one time, because my father's mother and my mom were really close when my grandmother was alive. And even though my mom and my biological father broke up when I was very young, went their separate ways, because Papa was a Rolling Stone and so many other things, my grandmother still considered my mother the daughter-in-law. She considered my mother the wife of my dad, even though it was over, right? She can still consider my mother the wife. And my grandmother told my mom one time, she said my grandmother always wanted to preach. She wanted to teach in church. She wanted to preach and speak in church. And my grandparents, they were very religious, very holy, very old school, traditional backwoods Baptist holiness church. They were the holiness church. So the women were all white. So they wore their head, they wore these white hats, white gloves, white. They were all white. And the women were not allowed to speak in church. And my mother told me that my grandmother and her were sitting in the living room one day, and she said, I want to talk in church. I want to preach. And my grandfather said, Leslie, you can't speak in no church. You can't. Women not allowed to talk in church now. Leslie, women not allowed to do no talking in church now. But that was the time they grew up in. That was the beliefs that were instilled in my grandparents, and they followed that to the T until their death. They never divorced, they never left each other. They married until death did they part, believing that. But my grandmother yearned to preach and teach in church, and she could never do it. And so one evening when I was in meditation, and my mom told me that, I did a meditation with my mom, my grandmother calling her in, and ever since she's been my spiritual guide. And she said, I told her, I said, Grandma, I realized that you weren't allowed to speak in church. Whatever you didn't get to do in life that you really wanted to do, you can do it through me. When I did that meditation and said that prayer to my grandmother, my throat chakra activated. And I have said things, written things, expressed things verbally that I never would have before. And I know a lot of it has to do with when I activated and did this work on it in myself. Because when you do this work on it in yourself, not only do you set yourself free, you set your ancestors free. My grandma told you, we're going to set this house on fire. My grandma told your grandma, we gon' set this house on fire. Whew. Not only do you set yourself free, you set your ancestors free. because you're doing the work they weren't able to do before us. We're doing the work they were not able to do until we answered the call. They wanted to, but the timing wasn't right. It wasn't divine. It wasn't in alignment. It was not time. There were some women who were stepping out and doing things, but the majority of women during that time, especially melanin women, when I say melanin, I mean black and brown women, could not. My grandmother was one of those women. And so me activating in my purpose and my mission, I'm hearing you are the ones your ancestors was praying for. You are the ones, we are the ones our ancestors have been praying for, have been waiting for, have been hoping for. We are our ancestors' greatest dreams. Because we set ourselves free, we set them free too. And so me doing this work on and in myself and activating in my mission and my purpose and my power through my pussy has helped my grandmother to fulfill the things she wanted to fulfill that she couldn't during her time, but she gets to do it through me. Whatever you are activating, whatever your talents and your skills are, whatever your purpose is that you're coming into, whether you are supposed to be singing, speaking, dancing, writing, I don't know, or modeling, being an athlete, doing hair, doing makeup, your ancestors get to live that through you, through your hands. They get to paint again. Through your voice, they get to sing and speak again. My grandma told your grandma, we're going to set this house on fire. That keeps repeating over in my head. And the reason that's coming up is because when you activate and do this work on and in yourself, you enter into a church, you will burst into flames. And that fire is from your ancestors, from your Kundalini serpent energy, from your dragon saying, set this shit on fire. This doesn't serve us anymore. Set the shit on fire. If this is keeping you stuck, stagnant, broken out, if this is keeping you from speaking, if this is keeping you from singing, dancing, we're setting shit on fire. We're setting on fire the lies, the deceit, the false doctrine. Set this house on fire. Set this house on fire with your righteous anger. Set this house on fire with your magnetism and your beauty. Women weren't even allowed to be fully in their sensual and sexual energy, in their magnetism, in their confidence. It was too much. So we're setting this house on fire. Burn it up. We don't need no water. Let this motherfucker burn. And when you emerge as your phoenix, in your phoenix energy, when you emerge, you are emerging fully in your divinity. You are emerging with all of your beauty, with all of your confidence, with all of your magnetism, with all of your sensual and sexual energy. When you emerge, you are coming into yourself. You have come into yourself. When we talk about becoming, this is what it is. You are becoming. You are coming. You have come. You think women could have spoken like this during that time? No. But they get to do it now. Through me, through you, through us. This is why we answer the calling as the activated alchemists and chosen ones. This is why we're here. To set the house on fire. So this is why if you were to enter a church, you would burst into flames. All of the false doctrines and philosophies that they share, they try to scare us with in horror movies and stuff like that. Remember, in horror movies, when a witch or a sinner, sinners, for those of you who saw Sinners, vampires or some sort of whatever demon tries to enter a church, what happens? They would be set on fire. But what that really symbolizes is those of us who've journeyed through the dark night of the soul odyssey and reclaimed your power and your purpose through your pussy. Okay? What that really means is you no longer identify with the bullshit. That really means is you're no longer sheep. You've activated your wolf. Not only are you beauty, but you're beast. You've set the house on fire. Even your body. You've set things about your body that didn't serve your body anymore. You set that shit on fire. You don't have the same body you used to have. Your body is, ooh, honey, your body is fire, literally. You hear people say, you fire, you look fire, your body's fire, her body's fire, his body's fire. Your body is fire. In any shape and form it's in, whether you're on the slimmer side, whether you're on the thicker side, whether you're on the slim, thick side like me. Okay? Your body's fire. You burned away old ways of doing, being, living, eating certain things. Even your body has shifted. It's not the old temple. Your spirit guides have guided you. Your serpent, kundalini, dragon energy has burned that shit away. Burned away, baby. You burned away fat. Hello, maybe you were too slim. You burned away the ideal. You burned away that and put on a little bit of thickness. Okay? I don't know, whatever it is. You've set that house on fire, and you're going to be setting many houses ablaze. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, you can no longer enter a church. And if you do, as an activated alchemist and chosen one, if you enter a church, you will burst into flames, your phoenix flame. And now you know why. So, when they say that you are a demon, when they say you are a witch, when they say you are not the norm, when they say whatever they say, you tell them they're right. You tell them they're right because you've done the work on and in yourself. And your fire, even your fire, is divine. Anyway, I hope this resonated with y'all. I'm going to end it right here, 32 minutes. My grandma told your grandma we're going to set this house on fire. For those of you who are ready to set your old self ablaze, to set your old life ablaze, to set that shit on fire, to set some things on fire in your life, to activate your purpose, your fire, your power, your pussy, to activate your beauty, your magnetism, your confidence. You need your kundalini serpent dragon fire to do this. You need your fire to do it. And if you know you need help with that, if you know you are ready, you know you've been called to activate your fire, then it's time for you and I to work one-on-one together. One-on-one exclusives are available. Email me. The information's in the description box below. For those of you who hadn't gotten your copy of Activate, go ahead and do that. It's a great place to start, okay? You can get your copy of Activate on Amazon in paperback or ebook, all right? Once again, if you're ready to work one-on-one, you know you're ready to call that fire up through your body to your crown so that you can wear your crown, so that you can come into your purpose, so that you can magnetize like you're supposed to be magnetizing. The reason why we activate in our beauty and our magnetism and our confidence is because we have missions to fulfill with our beauty, our magnetism, and our confidence. You need that. The reason why you need that is because you need to be attracting the type of people, places, and things that's going to help you fulfill your mission and your purpose. Our missions and our purposes are big. They are galactical. We need you. The ancient ancestors need you. Other galaxies need you. My parents recently, my mom and my stepdad, my step-pops, we call them pops, they just, they were sharing some insight with me about 3I Atlas. I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to the skies. As activated alchemists, we got to be paying attention to the skies, okay? Fuck what's going on in the news. Fuck what's going on with Trump. Fuck what's going. We're not worried about all of that bullshit. We are keeping our eyes on the skies. Our missions are so great. Do your research on 3I Atlas, okay? There is some alignment. There are things happening in our galaxies where we are a part of that. Some of your missions and your purposes are to work for NASA. You're supposed to be doing something with I'm hearing something about the Galactic Council. Many of you are supposed to be doing work with the Galactic Council. Our missions are big. Your magnetism and your attraction is needed for your mission. They need to be able to see you. They need to be able to be drawn to you. Because what you have in you is what is going to benefit the overall mission of our planet, of all galaxies, star systems. You need to be able to be attractive for that. And if you're not attracting, that means they can't see you. And if they can't see you, that means your light isn't turned on. That means your phoenix fire isn't blaring and blazing bright. We need to get you there. And if you are ready for that, then you're ready for one-on-one with me. We will have a chat. We'll have a Zoom chat to see if you're a good fit. And then if you are a good fit, we'll move forward. There are 3 phases in one-on-one exclusives with me. We have the flicker, flame, and fire phase. Okay. And the 4th week is when you bring everything together that you learned in the previous 3 weeks, and we're going to bring it online. You will be out in the forefront. You will be looking, walking, talking, activating in your energy. If you do this work, I don't waste my time with people who are not willing to put in the work. I don't care about your money. If you invest your money with me and you're not actually doing the work, because I will see the shift in you. Other people will see the shift in you. I will know if you're doing the work. I can start the program with some of you, and if you are not doing the work and you're wasting my time, because let me tell you something, when I work one-on-one with you, I am channeling information from the spiritual world to bring it to you. I'm channeling information from your spiritual guides, from my spiritual guides to bring it to you. That's not for the faint of heart. It's very exhausting to channel energy. So if you're not doing the work, you're wasting my time and you are pulling on my energy. I'm going to move your ass out the way. I'm going to put somebody else in your spot. Do you hear me? Don't reach out to me unless you're ready to actually invest in your activation. If you really are called, I will know it. And I will take your spot from you if you're not doing the work and give it to somebody else. I love you guys. I really do. Thank you for being here. If this resonated with you, make sure you like this. You know, sometimes we got to go into our beast. Now let me get back into my beauty. If this resonated with you, make sure you like, okay? Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you get up in the comments, all right? What's a good thing to put in the comments for me for this? If this resonated with you, Spirit wants you to put into the comments, let it burn. Hashtag let it burn. For those of you who are members over on Patreon, thank you for being there. To my CUM members, CUM, shouts out to you. Now over on Patreon is where I have my most explicit content, explicit videos, explicit photos, explicit stuff, okay? The things that I say, the things that we talk about, it's very explicit. It's in relation to obviously activating from your root chakra through your pussy as it relates to your personal development, your self-help, your mental health, your emotional intelligence for your purpose, for your mission, all right? So if you like yummy, juicy, deeper dives, okay, just say you like it deep. Just tell me you want it deep. You want it deep. And then become a member over on Patreon, all right? Anyway, I will see y'all. I will speak to y'all in the next episode. Ciao for now.